last bit of news, we'll wrap up the show with this, and that's new Washington Redskins cornerback Josh Norman. Now, he knows that he's no longer the underdog, right? He's not that guy you're kind of rooting for. He's playing pretty well, and hey, who is this guy? You know, everybody knows he's kind of a big deal now. Now, and especially after signing a 5-year, $15 million a year deal. But he's been knocked by a few players, and most recently, Demaryius Thomas, which we'll get into that just here in a second. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr., that fight and how everything went with that. Cardinals cornerback Patrick Peterson, and he's been pretty popular on that hip start really cut. I'm not even gonna cut that. I'm gonna leave that up right up there. The World Star hip hop thing. You know, you see it on video on Twitter of him getting burnt by Deshaun Jackson, by a few other Pierre Garçon, which you're seeing right now on your screen right now. He's been getting beat. He's been getting beat, and you know he's fine with it. He's fine with it. He said, "quote I can take it. I'm a big boy. I've got some big shoes. If I can have that unique set of skills to fend off everything people say, I can take it. I can take it and continue to be successful." When you get a deal like that, everything comes with it. Everything is magnified times 10. You just have to be careful of that, end quote. Now, again, some of this stems from that contract. Again, he is now the NFL's highest paid cornerback. But it's also some of his words. Now, in ESPN, the magazine article, for example, Norman took a jab at a player he went against and lost to in the Super Bowl. That was Denver Broncos wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, who he only caught one pass for 8 yards, and Norman said, I shut him down. Quote, I don't know what he was out there for. He was supposed to be an all-world guy, and I shut him down, end quote. Now, Odell Beckham Jr. told GQ magazine that Norman was relevant only because of him. And then Peterson tweeted out a video of Norman getting beat in practice. And then Demaryius Thomas, he decided to respond with a pretty good one. This is what he did. This is what he tweeted. This picture right here. And that says it all. I don't really have to say anything about it. And for people that are listening just on the show on iTunes and iHeartRadio, Demaryius Thomas tweeted a picture of his Super Bowl ring, and then it captions it. I don't think it was word for word, but he says, "Where's yours at, young fella?" And he didn't just some players will, when there's kind of like some beef going on, sometimes they won't even tag the other person they're really talking to. There's kind of just act like they are, but they don't say it. They don't put it on there. No, he tagged Josh Norman. He says, "Where's your at, young fella?" ? At Josh or J Norman or Josh Norman 24. No, he did it. He went after it. And, of course, Josh Norman says nothing. So, Josh Norman, I still like him, but he might have to relax a little bit. You got your deal, so be happy. Be happy you got your deal. Work on just getting better, and just focus on that. Stop trying to make headlines. Don't attack a guy who you lost to in the Super Bowl, especially if you don't have any Super Bowl rings. Don't say anything, because that's always going to be his punchback, and you will always lose because you don't have a Super Bowl ring, and especially you lost to him. I don't care. You could have shut him down. He could have not even caught a ball. You could have got an interception in the game. But you didn't win the Super Bowl. So shut up. Don't say anything. And then, of course, Odell Beckham, and then he went out, Josh Norman did recently, he said that there's a, quote, hit on Odell Beckham, that Odell should watch out. Obviously, the Redskins and the Giants, they play each other twice in a season because they're in the NFC East. So this should be pretty exciting, how everything works out. And just think about it. A year ago, or was it a year ago or 2 years ago, at this time around, Josh Norman was the guy who was getting beat up by Cam Newton in practice. And now he's Washington's guy.